Joining us for this week's Chalk Talk, sponsored by the Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan, is Coach Gary Morris. He's the head girls basketball coach at Farmington Hills Mercy. Welcome to Hangtime, Coach.
Thank you. My pleasure being here.
So I understand you had a team dinner the other night. Is that a regular thing you guys do? Because it sounds awesome. Sounds like a great way to keep the team bonded.
Yeah, it's something that unfortunately, COVID over the past couple of years has impacted all of us. But so really, it was the brainchild of a couple of the moms. And so they brought dinner really to school, and we ate dinner in the cafeteria. So it was the second time we've done it, second straight week we've done it.
What did you guys eat? Was it good?
We had tacos.
Tacos.
It wasn't Taco Tuesday, it was Taco Wednesday.
There you go.
That works. I'm actually Mexican, a very pale one, but Taco Tuesday is my favorite day of the week. Coach, I know you've been coaching for nearly 30 years, and you've been at Mercy since 2005. You were in Detroit Dominican, and that's an all-girls Catholic school in Detroit back in 1979. So you had a run at Madison Heights, Bishop Foley. Can you tell us just a little bit about your coaching journey in general?
Sure. Well, you highlighted much of it. I started coaching in the mid-1970s as a CYO, 7th and 8th grade coach, actually at a school where my youngest sister was an 8th grader, and she played there. And then from there, my next stop was Dominican, where basically the 1 year I coached at Dominican, I was more or less the interim coach because the varsity coach, obviously that's when girls basketball was in the fall. And she, late in the summer, got a teaching job out of the area. So then I coached the varsity that year. Then from there, I went to Bishop Foley, coached boys and girls, freshman and JV level, became the varsity coach there in 92, stayed there till 99. Then I was an assistant coach of women's basketball at the University of Detroit Mercy from 99 to 2002, and then came to Mercy in the fall of 2004.
Wonderful. Well, what made you want to be a coach? Did you have some mentors in the past that you looked up to?
Well, in terms of coaching, I always had a passion for the game of basketball. No great shakes as a player by any means, but really had passion for the game. And then, I think those of us who coach probably have a passion for the sport, but then also a passion for working with young people. And so I've had the opportunity, from middle school ages all the way to college. So I've enjoyed all of those different age groups.
And Coach, I don't mean to make you feel old here, but you've been in the game for a minute now. So what makes you keep coming back every year?
That's a great question. I think being around young people, I retired last year as a teacher, but, I think those of us in education will say being around young people keeps you young or somewhat young. And so I still, as long as I'm blessed with good health and have the energy and feel as if the girls are responding to my coaching, I'll look to keep doing it.
So I know you're coming up to 450 wins in your coaching career. That's incredible, first of all. I believe it's the 8th most among active girls basketball head coaches. It still pales in comparison to Marion's Mary Cicerone, who is almost at 700, and Regina Laffey's, who is far from 700 herself. Do you just marvel at those two and their staying power?
Yes, those are two coaches who have been in the game a long time. Certainly back when I was at Bishop Foley, competed against them. A lot of respect for both of them, not just as coaches, but as people. We were kind of fortunate the other night. We played Marion, and our goal was to not let Mary Cicerone get win number 700 on our court. Yeah. And our team played really well, and we got the win.
Coach, I mean, it's no question that Marion has been a rival of your guys' for a while now. So I know you just talked about that last one. You were able to not let her get the 700th win on your court, but, just kind of tell me about some of the epic battles that have been going on throughout the years between those two teams.
Sure. You kind of touched on it. If you look, probably certainly the past 10 years or so in the Catholic League, I think two of us have won most of the championships. Certainly, like I said, over the past decade, and even prior to that, and probably I'll point to the season of 2013-14, where we both had good teams. We played them actually 4 times. So we split during the regular season. We beat them in the Catholic League final on a last-second shot. And then, unfortunately for us, they got us in the state semifinals. So we played 4 times, and we each won 2. But unfortunately for us, they won the biggest one in the state semis, and then they won the state championship the next day. So I think it's 2 programs that have a lot of respect for each other. When the teams play, the girls are going to really play hard. They're going to be physical games, and both teams really want to win.
And again, to everyone who's listening, we're talking with Farmington Hills Mercy head coach Gary Morris. State champs will be filming a big game you've got coming up Friday night versus Dearborn Divine Child. They also stopped Cicerone from getting the 700th win over there. Can you talk a little bit about that year's team and how things are coming together at this point in the season?
Yeah, I'm really beyond pleased with our team. It's been a really great group to coach. We've got it's a team that has really I think they probably had a mindset, we're going to prove to people that we can play. We've had a pretty good run the last couple of years, but we were very senior heavy last year. We had 7 seniors. We started at 4. And so this year, I think a lot of the girls are out to show people that we can play too. And it's, we're 10-2, lost a non-league game to Brighton, a very good team. And then we lost to Divine Child at their place. But we've got good senior leadership. We only have 2 seniors, and they're our captains, Sophie Dugas and Sarah Cunningham. And we have a nice blend. We have freshmen on the team, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. And I've found that when you have that, it leads to good chemistry, especially if the older players are welcoming of the younger players. And it's just been it's a group that makes it fun to come to practice every day.
BCAM has introduced and officially launched the One Team campaign in an effort to promote unity among teams, schools, and communities. What are some of the things you try to do as a coach to promote unity on the court and respect for each other?
It's a good question. I'm really big on that. I think being a good teammate. So generally, things we do on game days, we'll do a shoot around. And then the girls will do that usually immediately after school. And then there'll be time, obviously, before our game. So what the girls have been doing for the most part this year is one of the parents will get food for them, bring it into the school. They sit there and eat dinner together. And I think it's a great bonding opportunity. We obviously would like to do more bonding type activities. Through the years, they've done things like get sleepovers, but obviously with COVID, we've had to be a little careful with that. But I think anything that they do together, even more so outside of basketball, really is a positive and I think leads to great team chemistry.
And Coach, now's my time to give you the hot topics, the segment each week that we do on our show. I bring up something that might be a little controversial and give my opinion, but now I want yours, Coach. So one that I brought up was in the high school level. There's no shot clock. Of course, that's a huge change when you get into college ball. How do you feel about implementing a shot clock?
Personally, I'm against it. And the reason being, I think, our game is good as it is right now, as it stands. with no shot clock, I think it does give maybe the less talented team in a game, it gives them more of a chance because then if they can take care of the basketball, maybe shorten the game. Trust me, there's been times I've done that as a coach when you kind of feel like the other team is maybe more talented, and so you want to make it a game of fewer possessions. And if I look at our game, it'd be interesting to chart though to see how quickly that would even come into play, or how often that would come into play. My sense is, we often are talking to our team about taking more time before we shoot, making more passes. So, and it's sometimes we will use a clock, and we generally are shooting well inside of 35 seconds. And I think that's the general number that they would use. I think that seems to be the 35 seconds, I think.
Right.
But no, I would like to kind of leave it the way it is.
Hey, that's no issue. I wanted your opinion. The only time I will say where I wish there was a shot clock is keep away basketball. When it's really close at the end of the game, I just want to see the underdog go back and try to get a basket.
Yeah, I understand that. I appreciate it.
Coach, I also want to quickly ask one more from you. Last week I talked about coaching styles. There's been, especially the last couple years, a lot of heat and negativity over that old school coaching style. A lot of people picture Coach Tom Izzo from Michigan State and how he coaches his players. Do you think that there's anything wrong with that old school coaching style?
I don't think so, as long as I think first and foremost your players have to know that you really care about them, not just as basketball players, but as people. And if they know that, and if they know really you're just trying to help them improve as players and as people, obviously if you're chirping at them all the time, that can be, they're going to turn that off. And I'd like to think if you talk to my players, they would say that our staff is overwhelmingly positive. Do we sometimes critique? Yes, but I think you probably in today's game, you need to praise much more probably than you needed to years ago.
Hey, I agree. I could take it and scream that an inch away from my face, but my little sister, oh no, you have to just clap her up, give her all the good stuff. That's how she likes it. But
yeah, I think I agree with you. I think it's much more a need for positive reinforcement.
Coach
today.
Morris, thank you so much for all you do for the game of basketball. We want to wish you good luck the rest of your season.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Coach.
Bye-bye.